On this episode of the Hanford Insider, we celebrate Educator Appreciation Month with some special messages from administrators, parents, and students. You'll get an update of Hanford news and the community calendar. Then later, I'll be back with your sports report. This is the Hanford Insider for Monday, May 5th.
This is the Hanford Insider, the podcast where we dive into what makes our community tick. From local stories and hidden gems to conversations with people shaping our neighborhood, we're here to celebrate, explore, and connect. I'm your host, Rob Bentley. Whether you're new to Hanford or a longtime local, this is your source for everything happening in our town, from events and news to conversations with people who make Hanford such a unique community. I hope you enjoy the format. Let's take a look at this week's community news. The Hanford City Council will be meeting this Tuesday, May 6th. At the afternoon study session beginning at 5 p.m., they'll review the draft budget for 2026-2027. At the regular meeting at 7, they'll be discussing improving code enforcement, approval of 3 downtown murals, continuing a public hearing regarding streetlight requirements in the Live Oaks subdivision, and receiving a presentation regarding the transient occupancy tax for hotels in town. The transient occupancy tax, TOT, also known as the hotel tax, is charged to guests who occupy a room or space in a hotel, motel, or other short-term rental for 30 days or less. Hanford's tax rate has been 8% since 1985. To compare, Visalia and Tulare are at 10%, and Porterville, Fresno, Selma, and Kingsburg are all at 12%. TOT is paid by overnight visitors, not local residents, making it a sustainable and equitable revenue source. A potential increase up to 12% keeps the city competitive with other tourist destinations without significantly impacting visitor demand. An increase in the TOT from 8% to 12% is projected to result in an additional annual revenue of $375,000 based on current and projected occupancy rates. These additional funds could increase general fund revenues that support essential services, including public safety, parks, community development, and recreation services. If the City Council approves moving forward with a potential ballot measure for the November 2025 election, staff would work with the City Attorney's Office to prepare the necessary draft documents. These documents must be submitted to the Kings County Elections Office by August 2025. Many of you have been commenting on the progress on the demolition of Lacey Milling. I encourage everyone to go back and listen to the January 12th episode of the Hanford Insider when I had a chance to sit down with the Lacey family to discuss the family history and the reason for the mill's closure. Here's a quick soundbite that I posted recently reminding everyone that repurposing the structure would not be a practical idea.
It just became an age issue with the plant, a economic issue with keeping it running, and then there are no plans to have an alternative business there at this point in time. We have already got our demo permits from the city of Hanford for the brick building and the office building. The metal buildings will be left up for now, but during 2025, we would expect the main buildings to come down, and it's just during this last year, we had a company out of Fresno and then the city of Hanford engineers themselves come through and look at it to see if they could think of alternative uses for the site. And again, because the building has been up for so long and you've had so many pieces of equipment relocated within it over time, that it's a 3-story building with a basement that you've had holes cut in the flooring where shafts were moved and this type of thing like that. So it would be very expensive. I mean, this recently, you hear where the city sold the courthouse for $1 to a brewery with the condition that they're going to upgrade it because the city's estimates were it'd cost $10 million to bring it up to code and all that. Well, the mill was probably in worse shape than that. And so while we've never gotten estimates on what it would cost to upgrade. There's issues with it's all up on a dock, so it's 3 feet above ground level, which that creates problems too, as in terms of access and the fact that a lot of stuff, because we pre-existed the city, weren't required to be up to current code. It would just be extremely expensive to have another use.
I was just curious about it. I see something great happening on the site, and wouldn't it be fitting if there was some kind of way of acknowledging the history of the company on that site? And I think Michael and I will probably be strong advocates for that kind of marker or something, if nothing else. Yeah, and no matter what it turns into, hopefully I'm not parking lot, but no matter what it turns into, I definitely think that site is an important part of Hanford history and deserves that kind of recognition. I'm like most of you that are hoping for revitalization in that area of town, and maybe bringing the buildings down will, in the end, allow for a more functional use of the property to develop as it sits on the entrance of town to Highway 198. I'm confident we will see something great there in the future. Let's take a look at this week's community calendar. At this week's Thursday Night Marketplace, it's Mom's Night Out, a celebration of moms. The band this week is Max Headroom, playing all of your favorite 80s hits. The History of Kings County Agriculture display at the Carnegie Museum of Kings County is now open. The museum is located at 109 East 8th Street and is open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Visit CarnegieMuseumofKingsCounty.org for more information. The Carnegie Museum of Kings County Car Show will be held in downtown Hanford on Saturday, June 7th. Over 200 cars are expected. Registration is now open at CarnegieCarshow.com. Saturday, June 7th is also the date of the Century of Memories celebration, marking the 100th anniversary of the dedication of the Hanford Civic Auditorium. Join us for a once-in-a-lifetime celebration of the 100th anniversary of the dedication of this iconic venue that's been the heart of our community, hosting countless events and creating unforgettable memories. This special centennial event will bring together residents, families, and visitors to honor the rich legacy of the Civic Auditorium and reflect on the history, culture, and spirit that have shaped Hanford over the past 100 years. At 6:30 p.m., there'll be a gala dinner. Tickets are on sale for the evening event now at hanfordca.gov/civic100. If you have an event coming up and you'd like some help getting the word out, let's work together. Send your information to hanfordinsider@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to my weekly newsletter to get a complete calendar of events. It's the most comprehensive community calendar available. May is a special month for the education community. It's a time when we take time to recognize our hardworking educators. There was a fantastic program at the Fox Theater on Tuesday recognizing the Excellence in Education Award nominees from each district in Kings County. It was a great evening for everyone in attendance. I thought it would be great to give our community the opportunity to express their appreciation to their staff for their tireless efforts. First up, we have some messages from our local superintendents.
Hello, Hanford Inside listeners. This is Paul VanLoon, Superintendent of Pioneer Union Elementary School District. As we celebrate Teacher Appreciation Week, I would like to give a shout-out filled with gratitude to all our incredible educators. Thank you for the investment you make in our youth each and every day, shaping the next generation of thinkers and leaders.
This is Hanford Joint Union High School District Superintendent Victor Rosa, and it is my absolute pleasure to recognize our amazing and hardworking HJU HSD team of educators. It takes all of our people to make this place work so well, and I cannot thank you enough for your part in our district's success. I look forward to celebrating with all of you at our Staff Appreciation Barbecue in mid-May.
This is a shout out to the amazing employees that make up Hanford Elementary School Districts. This is Joy, and I wanted to let you all know that I appreciate the contribution you make to our students and our district. To the teachers and instructional support staff, thank you for the hard work you put in every day to connect with your students and to make learning meaningful and engaging. To the support staff, your hard work behind the scenes is essential to the daily function of our district. And to our administrators, your leadership and vision guide our entire school community. Thank you, Team HCSD, for all that you do. I appreciate you.
This is Cheryl Hunt, Superintendent of Lemore's Union Elementary School District, with a special shout out to our amazing teachers. Your passion, dedication, and impact on students' lives is nothing short of inspiring. You are true difference makers who show up every day with heart, purpose, and professionalism. We are so lucky to have you, and we get to do this work because of you. Thank you for everything you do to make our Each One vision come to life.
Hi, this is Todd Barlow, Kings County Superintendent of Schools, and this message is for the teachers and instructional staff that work directly with students and for all the staff that support them. It's difficult to put into words just how much you mean to our students, our families, our entire community. You manage classrooms, mentor minds, calm chaos, and still find time to inspire students, motivating them to learn. A parent once told me that teachers somehow make the impossible look routine, and I couldn't agree more. We all know it takes the entire system to make that happen. Please know that your work matters deeply, even on days when it feels thankless. You are planting seeds that will grow for years to come, and your impact is felt far beyond the walls of any classroom. You are the inspiration at the heart of everything we do. Thank you for your dedication, your energy, your humor, and your heart. You are appreciated, and the world is a better place because of you. Thank you.
Some parents and students also wanted to give some special shout-outs.
Hi, my name is Mariah. Today I will be giving shout-out to my amazing teacher, Miss Tidwell, at Kings River Hardwick. Miss Tidwell is the best because she pushes me to do my best even when things are hard for me.
I want to send a shout out to Mitzi Hernandez, special education teacher at Hanford Early Learning Center. Thank you for all your hard work and keep doing what you're doing.
Personally, I'd like to thank all of my elementary and high school teachers. Some of you are even faithful listeners of the show. Thank you for helping mold me into the community-minded person that I've become. As a 35-year veteran in education, having taught in Hanford Elementary, Pioneer Elementary, and now Lamore Elementary, I'd like to thank all of the wonderful teachers, staff, and administrators who have challenged me to be the best educator that I can be for my students. Now let's go to Eric for this week's sports update.
And now it's time for Hanford Insider Sports with Eric Bentley.
We'll start with softball, where Hanford West stayed undefeated in Tri-County Kings League action last week, taking down Selma and Kerman to improve to 7-0. Tuesday saw Selma jump out to a 4-0 lead before the Huskies plated a run in the fifth, and a 5-run sixth gave them a 6-4 lead. Then Ryland Montoya came back out and pitched a scoreless seventh to preserve the win. Friday's game versus Kerman saw the Huskies play through 3 errors of their own en route to a 7-2 victory. Tied at 2 after 4 innings, Janelle Ramirez launched a 3-run home run as part of a 5-run fifth inning to give the Huskies the lead. Kaylin Boring picked up the save with 2 1/3 innings of no-hit ball out of the pen, while Ryland Montoya's 4 2/3 inning of work was enough to pick up the win, her 15th of the season, ranking her second in the Central section and 13th in the state in the win category. The Huskies can clinch the Tri-County Kings League this week as they will take on Kingsburg Tuesday before ending their regular season with a non-league matchup with Sierra Pacific. Speaking of Sierra Pacific, their softball team had a week to remember, especially at the plate, in a pair of run rule victories over Central Valley Christian and Washington Union. Tuesday's game at CVC saw the Golden Bears jump out to a 12-0 lead after 2 innings, thanks to an 11-run top of the second. Aided by 5 Cavaliers errors in the game, Sierra Pacific would go on to win in 5, 20-4. Anaya Zaragoza had a day in the win, going 2 for 2 with 2 walks, 4 runs batted in, and 3 runs scored, with Hayden Cota picking up the 5-inning win in the circle. Friday's matchup with Washington Union followed the same storyline as the Golden Bears bats stayed hot, scoring in all 5 innings, and the Panther defense committed 7 errors in the 18-6 ball game. Brooklyn Webb went 3 for 4 in the win, knocking in 3 and scoring 2, while Hayden Cota picked up the win again, the 5th of the season for the freshman. It's a 2-team race in the Tri-County Sequoia League between Sierra Pacific and Emmanuel, and the Golden Bears will get a chance to prove themselves head-to-head against the Eagles on Tuesday before closing out their regular season in that non-league clash with Hanford West. And Hanford High softball was able to break out of their skid, taking down Dinuba and Tulare Union last week. On Wednesday, a pair of 4-run innings bookended the Bullpups offense in an 8-1 victory. And on Friday, the offense picked up where it left off, erupting for 13 runs in the 13-5 win over Tulare Union. The Bullpups will take on Tulare Western and Mission Oak in league action this week. Sticking with Hanford High, but with baseball, as the Bullpups were able to pick up a pair of league wins last week, taking down Dinuba and Tulare Union. On Wednesday, a 5-run 5th inning helped propel Hanford High to the 7-5 victory in an error-riddled game that saw both sides commit 4 errors apiece. Friday's matchup with Tulare Union drew similar storylines to Wednesday's game, an error-filled game that saw the Bullpups plate the winning runs in a 5th inning outburst, resulting in a 7-5 Hanford High victory. After an 8-game skid, the Bullpups have now won 3 in a row, all by a final score of 7-5, and find themselves second place in the WIL with matchups against Tulare Western and league-leading Mission Oak this week. Sierra Pacific baseball was in action twice in a big league series with Kingsburg last week. Wednesday, it was Kingsburg getting ahead early and not looking back as the Golden Bears were unable to find much offense in the 6-1 loss. Saturday's matchup was a different story, however, as it took 12 innings to decide a winner, but with the game tied at 4, Sierra Pacific plated the run that mattered and came away victorious 5-4. The Golden Bears round out their regular season with a 2-game non-league clash with Hanford West this week, as their fate in the Tri-County Kings League rests in the hands of the Kingsburg-Kerman series. Sierra Pacific has finished league play at 6-2 on the year. At 4-2, if the Vikings and the Lions split their 2-game series, the Golden Bears would be the outright winner. Should either of those teams sweep the other, a tiebreaker of record over higher-ranked opponents would be the decider, which right now looks like it would favor Sierra Pacific over Kerman, but Kingsburg over Sierra Pacific. And it was a tough week for Hanford West baseball as they dropped 2 games to league-leading Selma last week. Wednesday, the Huskies struck first with a run in the first inning, but it was Selma's 4-run second inning that gave the Bears the 4-1 win. And on Thursday, the Huskies found themselves in front 1-0 again before the Bears scored 7 unanswered to take the 7-1 victory. The last series of the regular season for the Huskies will be that 2-game matchup with Sierra Pacific. As always, we like to cover as many local sports as we can, so if you have a score report, a story idea, or a team update, please let us know at hanfordinsider@gmail.com. I'm Eric Bentley, and this has been your Hanford Insider Sports Report.
That's all the time we have for this week's show. If you enjoyed this podcast and you'd like to show your support, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Hanford Insider to make a donation. If you'd like to join the Hanford Insider email list, stop by my website at hanfordinsider.com to sign up for updates. You'll also get an exclusive copy of my newsletter in your inbox each week. I also need your help getting the word out about the show by liking and sharing on social media or telling a friend. For more information about the show, you can find this podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, and YouTube at Hanford Insider. If you have a show idea, be sure to email me at hanfordinsider@gmail.com and I'll look into it. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.